Okay, imagine this. You're a developer, right? You've just finished, say, an 8-hour coding session. You've been using all the latest AI tools, Cursor, Claude Code, maybe GitHub Copilot.
Yeah.
You close your laptop and you feel amazing, like super productive, maybe, 20% faster than normal? You feel like you've really nailed it.
That sense of accomplishment, yeah. We all know that feeling.
Exactly. Now, here's the kicker. A study comes out, and it shows that despite feeling that great, you actually worked 19% slower.
Oof, yeah. That's quite the disconnect.
It's not just you. It's this thing happening across the whole dev community. It's what we're calling the AI coding productivity paradox. Your perception and the hard reality are just miles apart.
It's completely counterintuitive, isn't it? Because, 2025 was supposed to be the year.
Yeah.
The year AI just changed everything about coding.
Totally. We heard all these stories, tools writing whole apps from descriptions, developers saying they barely typed code anymore.
Right, just talking to the AI. And that whole concept of vibe coding came up.
Oh yeah, vibe coding. Literally not even looking at the code the AI writes. Just going with the flow.
Kind of wild. And the early numbers seemed to back it all up, didn't they? Like 47% higher user engagement reported in some cases.
And what was it, 37% of developers using AI tools regularly? Plus those claims like 10 engineers doing the work of 100.
It sounded incredible, a real revolution. But then, well, then that July study dropped.
Yeah.
And it just turned everything on its head.
And that's exactly what we're going to dig into today. This is our deep dive. We want to explore why experienced developers feel faster, but actually work slower with AI.
Yeah, and unpack this whole vibe coding thing, what's really going on there.
And what does it all mean for programming jobs? The future of the career. Is this a real revolution, or are we just looking at, really expensive autocomplete?
These are the big questions right now. And, it makes you think about your own experience. If you're listening, are you using these AI tools?
Yeah. Do you feel more productive?
And maybe more importantly, do you think you actually are more productive? Keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this.
Okay, so let's start with the promise, the dream. To really get why people were so optimistic, let's talk about Steve Swell. He's an engineer over at Builder.io.
Right, his story really captured that early excitement.
He literally said he barely types code anymore. 80% of his time is just describing what he wants in Cursor's little agent box.
And Cursor itself had that feature, YOLO mode.
Yeah.
Which sounds funny, but it was serious tech.
Huh. Yeah, you only live once mode. It finds and fixes build errors automatically across any file. It just keeps trying until the build passes. No human needed.
That's a huge step beyond just suggesting code snippets. It's like automated debugging on steroids.
And Steve took it further. He called his workflow test-driven AI development. So write the tests first.
Then let the AI hammer away at the code until the tests pass.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, he'd just tell Cursor, fix everything. Linting, TypeScript errors, build issues, boom.
And it wasn't just Cursor. There was Claude Code, which people reported could code autonomously for an hour and a half.
An hour and a half. With zero human assistance, according to one developer. That kind of autonomy was, almost sci-fi just a little while ago.
No wonder the market went nuts. You saw Windsurf hitting $40 million ARR.
Right. And GitHub Copilot driving, over 40% of GitHub's revenue growth?
Huge numbers. And that figure again, 37% of developers using these tools regularly by 2025. It felt like mass adoption.
And remember that Builder.io example? They had this monster React component, 18,000 lines long.
Yeah, nothing else could touch it, apparently. But Claude Code just handled it.
Right, so that was the promise, plain and simple. Developers becoming 10x more productive, building bigger things, focusing on creativity, not grunt work.
A golden age. It really felt like it was here.
But then came the reality check. What actually happened when someone measured this stuff objectively?
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting and maybe a little uncomfortable for the hype train.
So July 2025, this research group, METR, they drop a study, and it sends shockwaves, basically.
They took 16 experienced developers. These aren't newbies. They work on big, well-known open source projects. We're talking millions of lines of code, 22,000 plus stars on GitHub kind of projects.
Okay, serious developers. And they gave them real tasks.
Yep, 246 real issues pulled from these repositories. And the setup was clean. Half used the best AI tools available, Cursor Pro with the latest Claude models. The other half worked traditionally, no AI help.
Randomly assigned controlled conditions. Okay, so the big reveal.
The developers using the AI tools, they were 19% slower than the ones who didn't use them.
19%
Why?
slower. Wow.
But wait, here's a real mind bender.
Oh, great, there's more.
Those same developers who were 19% slower, they believed they were 20% faster.
No way. So a 39-point gap between how fast they felt and how fast they were.
Exactly, a massive perception gap.
Okay, why? How could smart, experienced people be so wrong about their own output? What did METR find?
Well, they broke it down into a few key factors. First up, overconfidence.
Okay, what does that mean in practice?
It means developers spent a lot more time than they realized prompting the AI, waiting for it, reviewing its suggestions, tweaking them, instead of just, coding.
Ah, so the back and forth with the AI added hidden overhead.
Precisely. It felt like progress, but it was actually slowing them down. Tied into that was the second point, low acceptance rates.
Meaning they didn't use much of what the AI suggested.
Get this. Less than 44% of the AI suggestions were actually accepted.
Less than half. So more often than not, they were rejecting it or having to fix it significantly.
Exactly. Which means a lot of the AI's work was basically wasted effort or required significant human correction anyway.
Okay, that makes sense. What else? Did the type of project matter?
Hugely. That was the third factor. AI tools really struggled with complex code bases.
Those million-line repositories you mentioned earlier.
Right. The AI performed much worse there compared to smaller, simpler projects. It just couldn't handle the scale, the interconnectedness, the history embedded in that massive code base.
And the final piece.
Context loss.
Hmm.
The AI didn't get the implicit stuff,
No.
like the team's specific coding standards, the architectural philosophy, maybe certain historical decisions about why things are built a certain way. All that stuff experienced devs just know. The AI was flying blind on that.
So it wasn't just about suggesting lines of code, it was about understanding the whole picture.
Exactly. And remember, these weren't junior devs fumbling around. These were pros. It really highlights that the interaction between the human and the AI is where things get complicated. Maybe our own biases, like wanting to believe the shiny new tool is amazing, play a big role.
It really makes you think differently about just raw code output, which actually brings us to another fascinating, maybe even more extreme trend, vibe coding.
Ah yes, vibe coding, coined by Andres Karpathy back in February 2025.
And his definition was pretty stark, wasn't it?
Developers who fully trust AI and don't even read the code and just follow the vibe.
Just let that sink in.
Yeah.
Don't even read the code. You just describe an app, the AI builds it, you poke at it, see if it works.
If it does, ship it. If not, tweak the description. No looking under the hood.
It sounds absolutely nuts, but apparently it's working for some.
Shockingly, yes. Some companies reported really impressive results. 47% higher user engagement, 32% better retention using this approach.
And Gary Tan at Y Combinator made that bold claim again.
Right, that it allows 10 engineers to do the work of 100. It implies a massive leverage increase.
There was that example, Lunchbox Buddy. An app built entirely by talking to an AI. No traditional coding, no source code reviews.
It completely reframes the job, doesn't it? You're not writing code, you're describing what the code should achieve. You shift from implementation details to, high-level direction.
From coder to creative director, is that too much?
Maybe not. But of course, the critics jump in immediately, and they have valid points.
Like, how on earth do you debug code you didn't write and haven't read?
Exactly. Or maintain it long term. How do you even know if the AI made a subtle but critical mistake somewhere?
But the counter-argument from the vibe coders is, well, it doesn't matter how it was built if the end result works and users love it.
It's a fascinating philosophical debate, really. Ends versus means.
Would you ship code you'd never actually read? Could you trust an AI for something absolutely mission-critical?
It's a tough call. And this tension, the promise, the surprising slowdown study, the rise of vibe coding at all, feeds into this big split we're seeing in the developer world.
Yeah, the community seems genuinely divided. Are these tools helping us, or are they actually holding us back in some ways?
You've got the optimist camp. They point to success stories like Intercom saying Claude Code lets them build things they just didn't have the people for before.
Right, small teams tackling huge projects. And they even mentioned lower turnover.
Yeah, reports of up to 30% less turnover. The idea is the job becomes less tedious, more focused on the creative, interesting problems.
And their take on the METR study, the slowdown.
They basically say, raw speed isn't everything. Maybe the code is better tested now, or easier to maintain, or solves problems we couldn't tackle before. In that case, is a 19% slowdown really a bad thing?
It's a fair point. It's not just about lines per hour.
And they see the developer role evolving. Not writing syntax, but directing the AI. Skills like breaking down problems, designing systems, guiding the AI that becomes the valuable expertise.
Okay, that's the optimistic view. But then you have the skeptics.
And they have some serious warnings. Security is a big one. Researchers keep finding vulnerabilities in AI-generated code.
Especially in sensitive areas, right? Like login systems or payment processing.
Exactly. Places you really don't want subtle bugs. Then there's the debugging nightmare we touched on.
If you don't understand the code because the AI wrote it and it breaks, you're stuck.
Right. Your own debugging skills might even get rusty. And what about dependency?
Like what if the AI service you rely on goes down, or they change the model, or jack up the prices?
Are we becoming too reliant on these black boxes? It's a real concern.
It forces you back to that fundamental question. What is programming? Is it writing code, or is it solving problems?
If it's writing code, then tools making you slower seem bad. But if it's about solving problems, maybe feeling more creative and tackling bigger challenges is worth the speed hit.
And yet, the money keeps pouring in. Investment in these tools is still skyrocketing. Companies are adopting them more and more, despite these questions.
The market seems to be voting with its wallet for sure, which leads us, inevitably, to the future. Where is all this heading?
Okay, looking forward, some trends sound pretty wild, like voice-to-code is getting real.
Yeah, imagine literally dictating an entire app, maybe while walking the dog, like you said. GitHub's working on using natural language for complex refactoring tasks too. Just describe the change you want.
The potential for democratization there is huge. If building software is just about describing it, think of how many more people could become creators.
Millions who never learned Python or Java could suddenly build things. That could unleash a massive wave of innovation from completely new perspectives.
But the flip side is stark. If it's that easy, what happens to programming as a career? Why hire programmers if anyone can just talk to an AI?
Maybe the job doesn't disappear, it just transforms. Senior devs become AI orchestrators.
Managing teams of AI agents, building complex systems.
Could be. And junior devs might start as prompt engineers, learning how to guide the AI effectively before they even learn traditional syntax.
Or maybe the most realistic path is hybrid. AI handles the boring stuff, the boilerplate.
And humans focus on the big picture,
Mm.
architecture, real creativity, the tricky problems AI can't grasp.
Given how fast things are moving, what changes could we realistically see soon, say in the next 18 months?
I'd bet on voice-first development becoming much more common. Also, AI agents starting to coordinate with each other on tasks.
Ooh, that's interesting, like a team of AIs.
Yeah, and I definitely think Coding Bootcamp will have to add AI collaboration as a required course if they haven't already.
You know, what strikes me most about all this? It's less about the specific tech and more about us, about how humans work, how we learn, what we actually value in our jobs.
Exactly, which brings us right back to that core paradox and what it really teaches us.
Right. The AI coding productivity paradox tells us productivity isn't just a stopwatch metric. It's tied up with how satisfied we feel, how creative we feel, whether we think the work is meaningful.
It's the human element.
So we really want to ask you again, are you using these tools? Do you feel faster, more productive?
And stepping back, do you think you are actually more productive? Or is something else going on? We'd genuinely love to hear your thoughts.
Because maybe feeling 20% more productive while being 19% slower isn't a bug. Maybe it's a feature.
Maybe that feeling, the satisfaction, the creativity, the vibe, maybe that matters more than just raw speed.
Is being happier, tackling bigger problems, feeling more creative, is that worth a 19% slowdown? It's a fascinating trade-off.
So, will programmers become these grand architects guiding AI to build amazing things? Or more like managers, kind of lost when the AI, the GPS, stops working?
The future of coding, yeah, it's not just about the code, it's about the humans creating it.